my life, even though I was doing
All right, good morning. Welcome to Real Estate Matters on Super FM 92.7. I'm still your real estate doctor. What we do on the show is just to simply make simple all your real estate problems. On the show today, we have a very important personality that's coming to talk about something very important, and that's estate surveyor and valuer Osagie Alfred. He's a RICS chartered mediator and also the Secretary General of FIABCI Nigeria. But before he joins us in the studio, I'd like to say that I have my brand new co-host with me today in person of King Rei. Good to have you with me, King Rei.
Hello, real estate doctor. It is so amazing to be here. I mean,
I haven't had a co-host in a long time, and it feels very good. And I feel so excited to have a co-host finally. And not just a co-host, but a very intelligent lady at that. So good to have you with me, King Rei.
Well, I'm super excited to be here, real estate doctor.
All right, so thank you. So I'd like us to go on this quick break, and when we come back, we'll dive straight into our conversation today. And also on the show today, we're going to talk briefly about this newly proposed monthly rent payment by Lagos State government. We're going to look at the sustainability of that policy. So let's go on this quick break. Thank you.
Real Estate Matters with the Real Estate Doctor and his co-host, King Rei, on Super FM 92.7 Lagos. Every Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. This show brings you an understanding of the business of real estate. Follow us on our socials at real_estate doctor. For sponsorship and advertisement, call us on +234 802 735 1727. Powered by Media House Promotions. Real Estate Matters, only on Super FM 92.7, where real estate matters.
Okay, hello, real estate enthusiasts. Welcome back to the Real Estate Matters show, and this is King Rei. Okay, we're going to go on to start our conversation.
Yes,
I
please.
know we had you had mentioned that today's topic is going to be on the payment policies with regards to monthly rent, payments, and the rent increase policies, and you're asking how people are going to receive that.
Yeah.
Well, considering the fact that most Nigerians and most Lagosians are below the middle income, are within or below the middle income, earners.
Yes.
I think most people are very excited about it because it's now an opportunity for people, instead of paying the larger amount, right?
Do you think most people are excited about this policy?
See, as a salary
Because for me,
earner,
I have my reservations about the policy.
okay, so any salary earner will be excited. Yes, it also means that you can't really plan for at the end of year sort of thing. But as someone, you and I know, as someone who has engaged tenants, right?
Yeah.
It always seems to come as a shock to them at the end of the year that they have to pay rent.
Yes.
So now,
it's always a big shock.
it's like, oh my goodness.
So in a
rent
country
is
where
due.
people pay 1 year rent and they still find it difficult to pay. Mm-hmm. So now we're talking about monthly rent payment. Yes, ideally, that's the ideal thing in saner climes. The UK, America, Kenya, even I'm sure the same thing applicable in Ghana, the close by African country.
Yes.
But in a country where our savings culture in Nigeria is terrible. So I think that, yes, it's supposed to be a good policy, but I don't want to be a critic, but I think that the Lagos State government still needs to overhaul that policy carefully. Because in my own opinion, I think that the default rate is going to be very high.
Okay. I thought so initially, but in the situation where, yes, we do have issues with savings, doesn't that mean that it's an advantage for people to just get debited, especially if certain prop tech solutions can come in place, or certain solutions can come in place where debits can be automated at the end of the month?
Yeah.
So each individual just knows, okay, at the end of the month, if you're earning a million, 500,000 naira, automatically your 100K, you adjust your spending and your expenses to whatever it is, less your rental payments.
Yes.
Right.
So the automated debit can work when people are gainfully employed. So this problem is very, very complicated. I'm going to be honest with you. So these things only work in countries where structures are already in place. People are gainfully employed. Their salaries is paid to a particular account.
Yeah.
The government is aware of that account. The landlord is aware of that account. So most of their payment is tied to that account. In the UK, once it's month end, you start to get multiple direct debits for rent, for cable, for gas. Everything is linked to one account. But in Nigeria, where people take even common loans, small-term loans, and find a way to cheat system, people will go and take there's this phone that they take, Easy Buy.
Yes.
People will buy Easy Buy, give the vendor a certain account number, and on a monthly basis is supposed to be paying or remitting or direct debit. Before you know it, this person will divert all his salaries or his payment to another account, and it begins to cheat the system. So I think that policy again needs to be overhauled. I mean, if it works, it's good. It makes life easier for Nigerians to pay rent month. This was the policy we had way back. I remember when I was growing up. Some of us that grew up in tenement houses, I remember that every month you see one baba with a folder comes to knock on my door, on my father's door, then and starts to ask for rent every month. That was the policy in vogue then. Over time, it now moved to 1 year payment. It now moved to 2 years.
2 years.
But I hope the policy works. I hope the policy works. But again, in my opinion, there are so many things that are supposed to be taken care of before that policy can work in Lagos State.
Well, and that's the beautiful thing about policies. A lot of times when policies are put in place, people make adjustments.
Yes.
And sometimes new solutions come about because of policies that are put in place.
Yes.
So, here is
I agree. But I like us to bring our listeners into this conversation. For listeners that likes to, we want to hear your side of this policy. Let's know what you feel about this policy. Is it going to work or not? Call us on 070-569-00927 or 080-250-27711. You can also call us on 080-297-8803. I think that was very fast. I'll take it one more time. Call us on 070-569-00927. That's the number to call. Let's get your opinion on this new Lagos State proposed monthly payment of rent by residents. For me, it should have been a very welcome policy, but there are lots of question marks. So again, I'd like us to go on this very quick break. And when we come back, we'll continue the conversation. Thank you.
In June, over 70 nations will gather for a landmark real estate event. It's the 75th FIABCI World Real Estate Congress Nigeria 2025. Special guest of honor is Excellency Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Host, Executive Governor of Lagos State, Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu. Keynote speakers, Professor Yemi Osinbajo and Kevin Brown, President-elect, National Association of Realtors. Date, 10th and 11th of June, 2025. Venue, Eco Hotel and Suite, Victoria Island. Time, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. daily. For more details, email info@fiabciworldrealestatecongress.com.ng or call 0816 772 3543 or 0705 557 3238. Nigeria welcomes you. Lagos is ready. Are you?
Welcome back to Real Estate Matters. Before we continue with our topic of today, with regards to monthly payments, we're just going to go back to talk about the FIABCI World Real Estate Congress that's coming up in June, from the 9th of June to the 13th of June. Okay, so why should real estate congress across the world?
Let me use the word of Egungun. That's massive.
Yes, it is. This is the first time in Africa.
Massive, yeah.
It is beyond massive. It
Yes.
is the first of its kind,
In
and
Africa,
that's
yeah.
something that it's a privilege for a lot of us to be a part of it.
Yes.
To get to network with some of the attending guests.
Yes.
I mean, we have Honorable Judith Nabakuba,
What? Who's
the
that?
Minister of Lands and Housing, and Urban Development of Uganda.
Wow, excellent.
And she is very phenomenal with her opinions and some of the policies that she has put in place in Uganda that's changing the Ugandan real estate space. And she's going to be coming to Nigeria to share some of her
Wow.
yeah.
So I think the week of the Congress is going to be a very busy week for Lagosians. That's the truth, because we're going to have. I think it's also going to improve our IGR for that week.
Yes.
Yes, because I mean at the airports we're going to be busy. We're going to the Eco Hotel is going to be very busy, and this is good business for Nigeria and Lagosians.
Yes.
So very importantly, I saw a video of. One guy online, what we do on the show is also bringing up trending topic in real estate and bringing it to the front burner of our discussion. So I saw a video of this particular guy online that is trending now, who was recently who was kind of calling out the Lagos State Commissioner for Environment for the floods around Lekki and its environment. And I think that is very important that we have this conversation too. So sometimes I feel that this court guy, sometimes he has valid points, and sometimes he overdoes it. And I think that we as Lagosians, we must understand that Lagos is I'm not holding brief for the Commissioner for Environment for Lagos State, and I'm not holding brief for the governor. We must understand that, yes, this guy might be doing it for clout, but sometimes he has some points in his, submission sometimes. So my take is we must understand that Lagos State is a very peculiar state in terms of our population. And is you can say that Lagos State is not so big as Ibadan but it's also very big too. So it's very difficult to have full control or full view of what's really going on in some parts of Lagos. So I saw him posting that some parts of Aja is dirty, is not looking good, and I'm like, yes, I mean, everything that becomes beautiful at the end is a work in progress. Yes, at some point we can say that Lagos was way cleaner and in terms of the environmental sanitation and all that, but right now we're in the raining seasons. So, and sometimes Lagos is even very unique. You clean up some parts of Lagos State now, in the next 1 week it has gone back to be what it was because of the population. And we as Lagosians too, we must accept our
role.
fault.
Yes, we have a role to play.
You see big men in cars driving, they'll wind down to throw stuff on the road, and I'm like, where is the common sense in this? Littering the road, messing up the road.
Improper disposal of waste.
And you see people deliberately not sleeping at night because they want to wake up at the middle of the night to carry their refuse dump to the middle of the road and dump it there. And here we are blaming the governor. Here we are blaming the Commissioner of Environment. Is a fault and a total mess up on the part of we residents too. Is it the governor that's taking the refuse dump to the middle of the road? And by what happens in the morning is breeze or wind, blows up everything and it messes up the road. And somebody will pick up his phone and videos and start to say Lagos is dirty. So those are, I think that we should really desist from that.
There's an unfortunate disconnection with some people and how they feel the government should. Yes, I understand that the system should work, right? But there are a lot of things that we also, as people within the system, should also do with regards to disposal of waste, with regards to how we call out our neighbors and how they do the right thing.
They do the right thing, yeah.
And sometimes even with yes, I agree. Some people, waste blocks the drainage system.
Yeah.
Some people, it's not even about waste. They are developing their own. Maybe they move into their own property, and then for some reason they decide that they want to change something with the drainage that has already been put in place. Yeah. And then they put maybe slabs or one thing or the other, or they remove some things out there that then add to the disruption in the flow of water.
And some even build houses on drainages.
Some build houses on it.
Because that's because we saw that happen in Ikota that led Lagos State to start demolishing these houses. So it's a joint effort for Lagos State to work or for any system to work. It's a joint effort by everybody, the government, the people, and everybody. So when we pick up our phones and do all these videos, let's be very very intentional and know that this is not just solely the fault of the government. if the government is churning out policies to make sure, or infrastructures to make sure that things work, we must also make sure that we put those infrastructures to good use.
Yes.
So if the government has built waste dumps or refuse disposal places, or drainages and all that, and people are dumping refuges in the drainages, is that the work? Is that the fault of the government too? So we must also accept our fault. So that's why sometimes I remember that sometimes I put a comment online on this guy's post, and I saw the reactions from people saying, I think recently there was one that talked about Lagos being in New York, and it just so much about. So I think that we just need to be careful, and that's my advice to Scott Iguma. We just need to be careful. So I'd like us to go on this very short break again. When we come back, we'll continue the conversation.
Real Estate Matters with the Real Estate Doctor and his co-host, King Rei, on Super FM 92.7 Lagos. Every Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. This show brings you an understanding of the business of real estate. Follow us on our socials at real_estate doctor. For sponsorship and advertisement, call us on +234 802 735 1727. Powered by Media House Promotions. Real Estate Matters, only on Super FM 92.7, where real estate matters.
Bet you don't believe me when I say I heard.
Okay. We are still on the show Real Estate Matters with King Rei and the Real Estate Doctor.
Good to be back. Good to be back. So we've actually had some very juicy conversations on the show today, and I think that we can overflog these issues. The monthly rent payment policy. We hope that Lagosians can take it with good faith if it happens, and we also hope that people can start to learn to, save up properly for their rent. But again, my fear is people have 1 year to save up for rent, they still default. 1 whole year to save up for rent, they still default. And now we're talking about monthly rent. I think the courtroom should be getting ready. There's going to be lots of litigation.
It's a two-way thing, right?
Yeah,
it's either going to be too much pressure or relief for some people. At the end of the day, I think the property owner benefits the most in the sense that when you have you signed your agreement with your tenants, first 2 months you can already see the signs, and then it saves you having to deal with tenants that will build on their how much they have to pay at the end of the year. And you know, okay, this tenant is messing up or this tenant is not delivering, and then you can.
I know
now-
that's why tenant scrutiny needs to be done.
Yeah.
100% now.
And working with the
You
right.
don't just give anybody a house.
Yes, you
Because
don't just give
Nigeria where people hold 5 years, 4 years rent, and it's just crazy. So
It's
so sadly, our guest couldn't make it to the show due to Lagos traffic. Estate surveyor Osagie, Alfred, Secretary General for FIABCI and also RICS chartered mediator, couldn't make it to the show. But that's what happens in Lagos. You 1 minute you're driving, the road is free, you're happy. Next minute you're in a terrible
traffic. Even
traffic,
Google
and
Map
you
is confused by Lagos.
no, forget Google Map is tired of we Lagosians. It's tired of walking in Lagos. I tell you, that's why sometimes Google Map will show 5 minutes traffic, and meanwhile you can be in that traffic for 5 hours, and it's showing 5 minutes delay, and you can be there for 5 hours. So I'm sure Google Map is fed up of this country already. So, it's been a very wonderful time with you in the studio today, King Rei.
It has been an amazing time with you as well, real estate doctor. This is our first,
Our first show together.
Yes, first show together, and
yeah.
I think so far we're doing well. I think.
Yes, of course, and I'm sure that our listeners enjoyed what we had to discuss today. Don't forget that the FIABCI 75th World Congress is coming up in June. So for all the realtors in Lagos State, all the big boys, all the
Real estate agents.
this is the congress that you cannot afford. You cannot